Hey there, gorgeous ones, and welcome to day 20 of the Choosing Love Over Fear Challenge. Today, I want to talk to you guys about one of the most moving experiences, the most transformational experiences I've ever had on my personal development journey. And I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of a story as to what happened to me when I engaged in the pretty intense challenge of a 10-day silent meditation retreat called Vipassana. And in this particular one, I had actually done a 10-day silent meditation retreat before, but a different style in the past. And it was tons different. For those of you guys who have been following me for a few years now, you might remember that I went and did that in France in 2018. And that was my first kind of challenge to myself to be silent. And you guys probably know I'm more of a talker. So I went through that experience. But this particular one that I went through with Vipassana is a much more intense program. You're basically going into an experience where you are sitting on a mat and in all your discomforts, for 10 hours a day for 10 straight days, right? You just come in and you sit in a meditation position, and basically there's points throughout the day, there's several hours throughout the day where it's like really, really like no movement. Like wherever you sit at the beginning of that hour is what you are holding for the entirety of that 60 minutes, right? And, so basically it's this strong determination that you develop with sitting with your own physical discomfort, because, right, if any of you guys have tried sitting for meditation, you might find that you can get in a lot of discomfort in your physical body within a minute, within 30 seconds, right? And so to be able to sit for a full hour without movement is a pretty big feat, and on all the levels, on the physical level, on the mental level, on the emotional level, right? You're sitting with everything that you are. And basically during 10 days of this, you're learning a process which is similar to like a body scan meditation, except you're not using imagination. This is the beauty of Vipassana that I love, is that you're actually developing the cognitive pathways to pick up your awareness of every single minute, subtle sensation in your physical body, right? And this takes like a ton of practice. When you first start the practice of Vipassana, you need that level of intensity, like an environment where you're cut off from all distraction, technology, talking and interacting with everybody, and you literally just practice this technique for 10 days straight, for 10 hours a day. You need that level of intensity to actually be silent enough and aware enough to be able to build those new neural pathways, to be able to pick up on sensations that you're previously just blind to. And basically getting out of imagination and being able to recognize the difference between imagination and actual sensation. And there's a whole lot of reasons why we do that. It's connected to a video I did for you guys just a few days ago, when I spoke about how every single physical sensation is directly connected to a mental fluctuation and a chemical reaction or an emotional reaction, right? There is a sensation with a thought or a mental pattern with an emotion. They're all your patterns. They're all interconnected. A sensation is connected to the emotion and the mental fluctuation, right? And so when we use the practice, we've built the neural pathways of every sensation in your body, which is Vipassana's lens or doorway into your own freedom, liberation, and just awareness of and non-reactivity, basically, so you can show up in life circumstances responsively and responsibly, right? But basically utilizing that process we apply equanimity to every single sensation on the body. You don't even have to be aware of the mental process or the thought and the emotion that's directly connected to that sensation. With the practice of just equanimity, which is a state of full awareness of the reality of the moment, but non-reactivity. It's not making it good or bad or pleasurable or unpleasurable. It's just being with what is, right? And today's message, why I'm sharing all of these details with you right now, is because I wanted to share an experience with you guys, which is, so I've made today's title, Transmute Your Pain into Pleasure Through Presence. Because basically, for me, you know, you're sitting in this room of other individuals and we're all going through similar pains, right? The physical pain of your knees, your whatever, your hips, your back pain, everything's manifesting on the mat, right? When you're just sitting with your own pain. And you're sitting with your pain on a physical level, but you're also sitting with the pain of the mental fluctuations and all the thoughts and all the crazy stuff that goes on inside of our heads. And you're just sitting with that. There's no distractions. There's nobody to distract yourself with. And there's no technology or anything like that. You're literally just sitting in silence on a mat. Bare basics, right? With nothing else going on. And so you're sitting not only with that physical pain, but you're also sitting with your mental pain, the thoughts and all the craziness that goes inside of our minds, and all the emotions that come up to the surface, all right? So you're actually getting to witness yourself at this really pure level. Like, it is not for the faint-hearted going through a process like this. It is for the dedicated seeker of self-realization and transcendence over our, you know, mundane patterns that just get us stuck in these mindless cycles in life. And instead, we want to be truth seekers, right? We want to be awake to the reality that is. And so I had a really personal, direct experience with this where I was sitting with my physical pain, but I was 100% committed to the process. I was totally in surrender, right? Like, I'm just going to 100% surrender and put all of my trust into this pathway, into this process. I'm just going to do what they tell me to do. I'm going to be with it all. And I'm just going to keep practicing, keep showing up, keep practicing, keep showing up, right? Fully surrendered to my pain. And it was literally not until probably I say not until, but most people don't even transcend their pain, because there's so many layers and baggage that we carry throughout our existence, right? All those thoughts, all those emotions that we suppress, they're all connected to our physical sensations in the body that, if left unchecked and left unresolved, can and definitely turn into diseases and discomforts that you know, limit us, right? And limit our lifespan. But as I was sitting through all of this, by the stage of day 7 or day 6 evening, I think it was for me, basically I had this, no, it was the next morning. I won't go into that story. There's lots of different kind of esoteric things that happened to me at this event, but I'm just wanting to focus on the transmutation of physical pain into pleasure. And so what happened for me at this point of just total dedication, total surrender, being with it all the physical pain, there were points where I felt like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get up and walk after this. I think my knees might be done in, you know, like I just have no idea. All the mental chatter, like, oh, is this worth it? And what's going on? How's everybody else's experience? Whatever. The emotions, oh, like, you know, all the things that were going on in my life, and like all the emotions coming up to the surface, right? Sitting with it all without distraction is so purifying, right? And because I was able to sit in that strong determination with all physical pain, what you get the experience of, part of the benefit of going to something like Vipassana, is that you get to experience the reality that everything is temporary. Everything is always changing. So you could see like a strong physical pain in your back or something, right? That in our everyday life, we just instantly react to and want to change and what's going on, right? In this particular practice, you're sitting with it And your practice is not to react to it, to continue to move through the framework of your body without reacting, without avoiding, being with that part that's in pain and feeling the sensation curiously, but non-reactively, with total equanimity, right? Like full presence and awareness, but not attachment. And then just keep moving through the body. And what we find is even the most intense pain is only temporary, right? And then we get to apply these lessons. They're like universal awarenesses, and that can be applied in so many different pathways, right? But for this moment in time that happened for me, you know, I was sitting with this agonizing pain for days, right? And just kept showing up, full surrender, equanimity, continued the process for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end, right? This was what I dedicated my time to. And there came a point where that physical pain, that excruciating physical pain in my body that I was being so equanimous with, all of a sudden it just hit this middle point where it just transmuted into a full body sensation of just pleasure and bliss. Like I was on ecstasy. That's basically what happened. I was in ecstasy in my physical body, in my mind. My heart was expanded, and just tears of joy and all this beautiful just state of bliss entering my entire being actually happened, right? And that is like the rainbow after weathering a storm. And it's available to us when we are just able to sit with our pain, right? And I want to take it out of the extremity of going to a Vipassana retreat, right? And putting yourself in that environment. And just take from this message what you will, but my invitation is, when was the last time that you just sat with the reality of your own self without any distractions, without avoidances, without running away, without getting overwhelmed and reactive to any of it, but actually just sit with this presence with it, like you would, you know, a wise old sage, right? Like just sitting in the presence of a wise old sage who is just able to witness you in your completeness, in your fullness, in whatever reality that was, and be totally aware of it, without attachment, without reactivity, just complete and utter presence to your reality, you know, and doing that for yourself, right? Becoming your own inner sage who can be there to witness you all, right? Because whatever we deny, whatever we repress and suppress, whatever we avoid and run away from, it actually just ends up having a deeper hold within our system, making us more and more reactive to everyday situations, taking us further and further away from the core self that we'd be truly proud to be living from, right? And the more we can sit with the reality of what is going on a physical, mental, emotional level for ourselves, the more we're able to just let go of the grip that those emotions, thoughts, and physical sensations have on us, and we start to rewire our entire nervous system. We start to calm it down. We start to lose attachment to the things that are those knots within us that are getting deeper and deeper and more wound up and attached, that create all of our mental, emotional, and physical discomfort and disease, right? And so when we can sit with our own pain and know that it's temporary through our own experience, we only get to know that through sitting with it and seeing how things move on, right? Then we get to release our own system from the bondages of the past, and we get to actually be present to the moment and truly create a pathway ahead for us, which is not just driven by the fears and insecurities and fluctuations from our past experiences that are no longer who we are, but are actually in the fullness of the reality of who you are now, right? Without all that baggage. And that is the place that we want to get to, so that we can start to consciously evolve on all the levels, on our physical, mental, emotional, areas, right? And expand our own nervous system so that we're able to expand our capacity for life's fullness in its full reality and live our most conscious existences. All right. Now, I know I'm always saying this on every message, but I'm literally in a real rush. I've literally just looked at the time and I've got 1 minute until I have to head out the door. I'm going on a bit of an adventure Sunday today to a place called the Everglades here in Queensland. I've never been before. It looks spectacular. So I'm really looking forward to going and checking that out and going on a bit of an adventure. But I really want to say hi to you guys and check in. So please do drop me some comments. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. And any words of wisdom, whether you're sharing them in this live session or you're catching the recording. I love hearing from you, and I will get back to you and engage with you. And it's such a contribution when you share your personal direct experience with others, right? And think about it how you will, but when was the last time you were sitting with that pain, truly being with yourself and seeing what results you can generate from your own inner sage coming to the forefront and taking care of you and really seeing, hearing, feeling and knowing who you are? All right, so I just want to say a quick hello to Eunice and Simon and Christian and Connie and Anne-Marie. So good to see each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and showing up to this live. I really do hope that me sharing this experience is valuable to you. Just get you thinking about sitting with in the presence of your own pain and seeing what can come about, the freedom, the liberation that can come about from going through a process like that. And Bill, we're going to have to re-listen watching on the beach now. Awesome, very interesting. Love hearing that, Bill. So grateful to always see you tuning in, and I'd love to hear your thoughts if you want to share any after you get to watch this message. And I'm off to a similar thing, not the beach, I don't know what it is, the Everglades, going through canoeing and doing all sorts of cool stuff today as well. So love how we're living life. All right, so much love coming to each and every one of you guys. Can't wait to see you tomorrow for day 21, and I will see you then. Mwah.